Hey everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. And the question is, what is the SPX going to do next? Now this is a 2-day chart. On this 2-day chart, you can see there's been a squeeze that's trying to turn higher. This is the 200 SMA on the 2-day chart. And what I've been looking at here is that if we kind of zoom back a little bit, you can see that we've got kind of this weird reverse head and shoulders action happening here. And we got to move here. We tagged the 200 just as we tagged it here. And now the question is, from here, is this squeeze going to be able to build some momentum and go to the upside? Okay, which at what, and then when that's done, I would look for it to die. Or is this thing going to just kind of roll over? If we drill down and we look at the daily chart, the daily chart, you got a little bit more positive momentum happening here, and you can see we're just kind of tightly coiling here. And as I've kind of talked about here, it's like, well, gosh, with all the bad news we've had with banks and all that kind of stuff, and the market hasn't rolled over and died, to me that's telling us something. And the thing that it's showing me right now is that this market is very short. And if you look here, it's like, gosh, when the put call gets up here, it means everybody's shorting. When everybody's shorting, what happens? We rally. And then when everybody gets long, we fall. You know, everybody's shorting, we rally. And here we can see that everybody's been shorting, right? And we're starting to, this is starting to roll back over. But what I'd look for, what would make sense in this situation, as you can see, is when we rolled over here, the market popped, is that we roll over here, the market pops, destroys all these shorts, and then when the 10-day moving average gets down here, then we just kind of come back down again. So just kind of a big, nasty, scary range. So how do we trade this? Well, part of this is just finding some decent levels to trade off. So as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of the voodoo lines. But right now the voodoo lines, we're sitting here and these are almost 60 points apart. This is almost 40 points apart. And look, it's great when we slam down into one of these levels. That's tradable. When we slam up into one of these levels, that's tradable. But what happens when you spend a lot of time in between the levels? We've just been spending a lot of time just kind of hanging out between these levels. And this is where I talked about, with David Starr, about, hey, what is some action here that we can trade in between the levels? And so that's what he brought up, like, well, I've got these micro voodoo lines. I'm like, okay, so here's 39.80, right? That's the big skyline, which is right here. And then look at this. In between, there's a fire line right here, okay, and that's, that's right in there. That is a huge, huge, huge action here today. And so what happened is when we came back up here, we hit the micro snow line again. This is where we got signals to buy puts and sell call credit spreads, and we stayed in as we came back down to the fire line, because typically on something like this, there's a saying in trading, like against the voodoo lines, you'll get a double bottom but not a triple bottom. That next test, that third test, is kind of a go with, and that's where we kind of picked these trades up. And this is pretty solid. We had the 39.50 puts and then the 4,040.10 call credit spread, and decent day there on that. And I may have a quick clip here of about a minute and a half or two of the actual live trading. Let me see if I can get that in here, and if I can, and I'll be right back. Just seeing if we can get a little flush here, just because it's weird markets in the short term here. If we're looking at the micro voodoo lines, you can see we kind of came up here to this little micro skyline, and just really watching to see this low of the day here, 39.93. If we could take that out and flush down, that would be ideal. And then I'd look for a quick hits long. I'm not expecting a trend day today, just kind of some back and forth. If we break to the downside here, I'd be surprised. I mean, tech's weak. I'm just looking for some chop and sloppy. And if anything, the surprise may be here as we get a little flush. So the whole key on a trade like this, so the two things here, the call credit spread, so the don't be a dumbass, remember that's the big 20-minute signal. So I just want to be aware of that. If this does cross higher, then I want to focus on the upside. Remember, that's all the short term. All right, we're getting a little bit of a flush here. When we get the flush, that's what we want to be aware of, those long puts and take some profits, because the call credit spread obviously can kind of manage on its own. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a break in the action here. There we go. A little bit of flush. Let's see, we take out the lows. All right, so let's utilize this to take some profits. So these are the SPX puts. I kind of like to trade these on a dome. You can manage it kind of like a futures trade. So it just kind of shows you, I just place some orders there. There we go. Okay, we're selling a quarter. See if we get a little bit more. I'm going to drag some of this down. I just want to get out of this while the getting's good here. There we go. Nice pop here in the puts. Those are the puts. Okay, out of about not three quarters. Oh, okay, I'm going to drag this down. I just want out. So that one, nice. I got a little bit left here
I'm going to leave some runners. When you get a flush like this, that premium explodes. You want to get that while you can. All right, let's get the hell out. We're starting to bounce. So I'm just going to drag this down and out. Okay, so we're out of the puts. Very nice, little quick trade. If we look at the micro voodoos here, you can see we're kind of coming down into the little micro snow line here. That's a place to kind of pause and we'll probably look for a hook up here. And then for the call credit spread, the nice thing about the spreads, we don't have to do a whole lot with them. So the directional call, that was wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. And then we sold this one for $1.15 and it's currently 50 cents. We could just be patient with this. I think the idea that we get out of it, possibly even let it expire, although I don't want to get cocky, but that's the whole idea.
All right, so hopefully that live trade thing happened, and if not, that's fine too. But so what I want to let you guys know is that on Wednesday at March 29th, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time, myself, David Starr, and Henry Gamble, we're all going to get together, and we are going to talk about these micro voodoo lines because I've been using them, David's been using them for a long time, and then Henry's been using them. We're all using them a little bit differently, but a combination of SPX spreads, SPX directional, SPY, same, and also S&P futures, as well as a couple of other things. So you just put in your first name, your last name, your email address, and then what will happen is you'll get reminders and links for this. And then essentially what we're going to be talking about is what's nice about this is these levels are there and ready to go every day. What we can do is if we're looking at bigger moves or just kind of some quick moves, and essentially what's nice about this, they're kind of the 0 days trading, 0 days expiration for the SPX options is kind of like the best friend there. And then also too, when it's choppy like this, a lot of times like, oh my God, this chop sucks. With these, it's great. It's very tradable. And there's some info there on myself and David and Henry. And so to get to this page, just go into your browser, type in simplertrading.com/map. That's /MAP. You'll get to this page, register, and then we will see you on Wednesday, the 29th at 7 o'clock Central. If you can't make it, it will be recorded, but I always encourage you to attend live. There'll be a raffle while we're there, get to answer your questions and all that kind of fun stuff. All right? Look forward to seeing you then.
Hey, John here with Simpler Trading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, comment down below and let us know what topic you want to see us cover next. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you can get notified when we release new videos. And if you want to watch us trade in real time using our own money, go to simplertrading.com and learn how to sign up. Good trading, and we'll see you next time.